คอหุ้น Power Time Magazine ทันเหตุการณ์ข่าวการเงินการลงทุนเศรษฐกิจและอสังหาริมทรัพย์จำหน่ายแล้วที่ร้านหนังสือชั้นนำทั่วประเทศ
We have to remember that the merger between DTech and True that happened 2.5 years ago was a merger between two very, very big organizations. Two organizations that had been competing with each other for 20 years and also having different market positions. So, and this merger is the biggest merger in the telecom sector in Southeast Asia ever. So when you do that, of course there are challenges. The first challenges was to build those two organizations into one culture, such that it was not a takeover. And that is what we are doing now, building one unified culture. The second one was to take two networks into one, and we are almost finished with that. And the third challenge will then to do the same on the IT systems, billing system, customer retention system. And the last one is in the distribution and on the customer care. Merging shops together, getting call centers together, and making sure that every customers are being handled in a unified way. So all this is a 10,000s of challenges, but I must say that so far I think the team has done a fantastic job. Yeah, the culture in those two organizations is slightly different, and now I think that's why we call this a merger of equals, meaning that it's not a takeover and it's not the data culture or the true culture. It's a new culture that we're building, and that is what we're trying to blend together now. But frankly, also to try to figure out what does it take for us to move into the future, not thinking about what worked in the past, because the next 10 years in telecom is going to be very different from what it was. Now it's not about just selling SIM cards anymore. It's actually about deepening the customer relationship. And that in itself is changing the culture, which means that you really need a culture which is what I call customer obsessed. That's how you can win going forward. The very unfortunate network outage we had in the end of May had nothing to do with merging a network into one. It was an unfortunate power outage. We lost power, and when we lost power, the switching center went down. That was what happened. So that was the root cause. We are now looking at how can we have even better backup systems if something like that should happen in the future. We decided then to give quite, I will say, a good compensation to our customers, just to thank them for staying on with us. So if you think about the financial effects of that, in the quarter was about 1% of the revenues that we gave away for free to our customers. So that was the effect of it. And now we are over. Now we see things being come back to normal, and we will grow from here. To change the customer experience means that you need to look at all the different customer touchpoints. And we need to look at the way we are serving the customers when they are calling the call center. Actually, we need to take away the reason for calling call center. That in itself is bettering the customer service. We need to think about how are we serving our customers in the shops. We need to think about how is it to actually buy a new service with us. So all those different things. Some of this is to take away the reason why you have to call us or have to go to a shop, and we are working on that. That's a pain point. Some of this we need to automate. So for example, we have implemented a new app now where some of the basic services you can do in the app rather than go to the shop. Some of it, our ambition going forward is to do three things. The first is that we need to be the customer's champion, because our customers are not comparing us to what we used to be. They are comparing us to the global big companies, Amazon, Google, Netflix, and our customer experience need to be on that level. That's number one. Number two, we need to make sure that we are transforming from a telco company into what I call a telco tech company, taking in use all the new technology. And AI is the most important part of that. And this has happened super fast, which means that we also need to be super fast. And the third thing is that our organization and our people. We need to make sure that we have a future fit organization where people are skilled, where people know about AI, where people are able to follow the speed of what's happening in the world, and where we are able to deal with our customers in such a way that they are not only happy, but they are also helping us to continue our profitability journey. That is the strategy. That's okay.
My name is Nakul Sekal. I am the co-CFO of True Corporation. To recap on the performance of the second quarter of 2025 for True Corporation, we reported a 25 billion EBITDA for Q2, which on a normalized basis, after taking off the impact of the incident, which is the network incident that happened, is flat on a quarter-on-quarter basis, and on an year-on-year is actually a growth of roughly about 4%. For this year, we have actually given a guidance of 0 to 1% growth of service revenues and 7 to 8% growth on EBITDA. We've maintained the guidance on our capex of 28 to 30 billion of investment this year, and we are also saying that we will be profitable for the full year, indicating that a dividend will be paid out in the second half of this year from the results of the operations of the company, which will be more than 50% of the net profit of the company. We are reiterating the guidance for the long term, which is actually until 2027, when we are saying that our EBITDA margin as a percentage of service revenue, we are targeting it to reach 67% by the year 2027. We are saying our capex to sales, and the sales include total revenues minus the network rental revenues. This will be 13 to 14%, and we'll bring our leverage down to less than 3.2x. And the leverage here means net debt to EBITDA. We have also shown that over the last 1 year, we have improved our net debt by 33 billion, and we'll continue to improve this going forward, which is why the leverage from the current 4x levels exactly go down to 3.2x by the end of 2027. Akram. Thank you so much. Kapung Kap.